If you are looking for travel ideas and where to visit when you are here in Sri Lanka, you are in the right place. You can call me B. I live here in Sri Lanka, and today I will guide you through all of Sri Lanka's best places to visit, how you can travel around, and what activities you should engage in. But before that, please subscribe to our channel. It will mean so much to us. So let's get started. For anyone who is flying to Sri Lanka, most of you will land at the Bandaranaike International Airport, which is very close to Colombo. You can hire a cab from the airport to your accommodation. It would be best to rest somewhere in Colombo. There are so many options for accommodation and food in Colombo. It's the capital of Sri Lanka after all. You can spend an extra day exploring Colombo, or you can start your adventure on the very next day itself. If you are using public transport, you can take a bus or train from Colombo Fort to most of the parts of the island, or you can hire a vehicle or rent one. Let's start with Kandy in the Central Hills. You can visit the temple of the sacred tooth relic, the Dalada Maligawa, and spend the rest of the day exploring Kandy. Next morning, you can proceed to the misty Central Highlands, Nuwara. I recommend you spending at least 2 nights here. There's so much you can do here. It's just heaven. There are a few botanical gardens, the Ambewela farms, plenty of waterfalls, many hikes, temples on cliffs, the Gregory Lake and the water sports you can try out there, and of course, don't forget the Houghton Plains National Park. You have to do this hike. Now, if you're going to hike the Houghton Plains, get there as early as possible to avoid crowds and to see the best scenery. From Nuwara, let's go to Polonnaruwa. This place is very relaxing and it's all about Buddhism and history and ruins. You will have to be mindful of your clothing, etc. Basically, cover your shoulders and wear long, light colored clothes, and this is true to any religious place you visit around. I personally like Polonnaruwa to explore ruins and history. You can buy a book from one of the stalls which will give you more insight on all of the historical sites, and you can rent a bike and cycle through the sites or hire a tuk. You can spend a night here at Polonnaruwa and proceed to Habarana or Sigiriya. You can visit Sigiriya, the World Heritage Site, or hike Pidurangala, which gives mind-blowing views. And don't forget to check my video on what to expect when you hike Sigiriya and Pidurangala. And also, it's best if you can visit both these places as early as possible in the day before it gets crowded and super hot. You can also go on a safari to one of the national parks close by. You can choose from Wasgamu National Park, Minneri National Park and Kaudula National Park, or ask from the safari tour guide which one to choose from, and they will recommend you where you will be able to spot most of the elephants during the time of your visit. Usually they do safaris in the mornings and evenings both. We select the evenings because that way we can do the hikes in the morning and safaris in the evening and complete them both within the day. So you might want to spend a day or two depending on what you choose to do. Don't forget to visit the Dambulla cave temples on your way. From here, let's go to the ancient city of Anuradhapura. Now, Anuradhapura is all about Buddhism and history again. But unlike Polonnaruwa, it's mostly ancient Buddhist temples. You can spend one night here exploring around these ancient temples. Try to grab a book that explains all of its history, which will make more sense. It's best to hire a tuk here rather than renting a bike. But you also can ride a bike as well if you really want to. Let's go to Jaffna next. Jaffna is most of the year very hot, but it's worth it. Again, you can take a bus from here or hire a vehicle. You can spend like 2 nights here depending on what you want to do here in Jaffna. In my opinion, you can spend a day exploring Jaffna, an extra day to visit the amazing Delph Island. Now, if you are visiting Delph Island, make sure to check my video on it for more information. From Jaffna, let's go to Trincomalee. You can snorkel at Pigeon Islands and explore around. There are plenty of options for accommodation here and it's very much touristy. You can also go whale watching and diving from Trinco, so depending on your plans, you can spend a day or two here. From here, you can proceed to Arugambe if you like surfing, but be mindful of crocodiles. Arugambe is a surfer's paradise, so check it out if that is what interests you. And from here, you can go to famous Ella. Again, depending on what you like to do, you can spend a day or two here. You can hike, do the zip line, visit the Nine Arch Bridge and explore the waterfalls. Let's now proceed to Yala National Park. Yala is the most popular national park for safari. There are so many famous safaris you can do in Sri Lanka. There are many national parks with so much wildlife including elephants and leopards in all parts of the country. And then proceed to Tangalla, Matara, Valigama, Galle and many more. Now starting from here, it's going to be beaches, sun and fun. Matara and Galle and all along this stretch just has some amazing beaches, restaurants, hotels and food. You need to visit the Galle Dutch Fort and also visit the Hikkaduwa beach, which is also another place where you can do some snorkeling and diving. And Mirissa is also a popular destination where you can go whale and dolphin watching. So you can spend your last few days in this area and head to Colombo the night before you fly back home. Now you might not be able to do all these activities and visit all these places. Also, it all depends on what time during the year you travel. Usually January to May is considered the best if you are traveling to the south with the beaches, and July to October if you are heading the northeast to Trinco and Polonnaru. So depending on how many days you spend in Sri Lanka and what activities you like to do, you can select the locations and plan your next vacation. If you are looking for in-depth information on any of these locations, feel free to check the other videos of mine on this channel and in my other channel, Mub Travel Destinations. And please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos because it will make a huge difference. I'll see you on my next adventure. Until then, follow B.